another stream there. Back over here. Cool. And we are live. Here we go, guys. Cool. Okie dokie, artichoke. Welcome in, guys. Hope you're doing well. Get my candle going. And you guys who comes in the chats know I love my candle. I love a good candle. All right. Right through here. Like, comment, and subscribe action. Don't forget to do that. If you come in here and you enjoy the chats, get a little caffeine in the system, and we'll get going. There you go. Like, comment, and share, all that good stuff. Subscribe. Okie dokie. Now we got the music going in the background. Gonna get that going. Royalty free background. I like piano personally. Work? Yep. What's up, brother? Welcome into the chat. Quint. Oh yeah, dude. I work a lot, man. I just use my brain. You know what I'm saying? Quinn. Welcome in, man. Welcome in, man. Oh, I don't like that music, though. Yeah, I don't like that. Oh, there's some good music. There we go. Crypto? Nope. No. So, I do a lot of different things, man. I sell life insurance. I'm a personal trainer. I clean houses. I do all sorts of stuff. I'm in a bedroom. But I'm not against doing anything for work. But what I realized long ago is if you do things that create residual income, see, most people have to trade time for money. They trade time and they get money. And that's cool. I did that for a long time. I'm almost 40 years old. But I realized you can invest in the market, you can create residual income, and I don't buy stuff that I don't need. Most everything that I have in here and around the house and everything outside, because this is just my little man cave in my corner. What I realized is you can make a lot more money if you put money into places and things where other people are buying, like in the market, and then when you sell life insurance policies, you get residuals, so you keep getting paid. So no, I just played my cards to where I could create residual income, man. And I teach other people how to do it too. Anyways, Quinn, how are you? How you doing this morning? Where are you coming in from? What part? And ooh, AMD is oh boy. Woo! Sure enough, man. Sure enough, Shawty. Hey, Shawty, we hit the double top. We hit the double top, Shawty. Now, AMD is making a move. It's $9.15. AMD's current price. Height is 218. Low is 215. Looking at the 4-hour chart, looks like AMD for the last year, it's kind of below the 180-day SMA, and all the EMAs are pointing that it could take a dive down. That's a real good sign. Am I in a shed of some sort? No. I am in a, this is my man cave. The OBS board, I just didn't put anything over it because sometimes I'm lazy. And instead of making it look perfect, I kind of like the way it looks. My dad's a carpenter, right? And I don't really see him very much. He lives away from me. And it reminds me of him. Every time I see the wood on the side, it reminds me of him. So if anything, I keep it up to constantly remind myself of my father, so I give him thoughts throughout the day. So that's kind of why I designed it like this. But no, behind, it's actually a pretty nice spot. Hell, I could live in here if I had to. But no, we have a house and everything out here, chickens and stuff. But it's kind of more just reminds you of my dad. All you care about is money? Nah, man, that's not the way to do it. Appreciate that. Now, later on, I can show you a little bit of tour. But we're in the market right now. I'm looking at AMD. If all you care about is money, that's okay. You know, we all have our things in life, but that's not all I care about. You do need a certain amount of money, but man, there's a lot more to life than just money, man. It's, if you don't have enough, it sucks, I get it. But if all you do is chase money, I don't really think you're going to be that happy in life, me personally. But that's my own personal opinion. But you do what you think is happy. Do what makes you happy. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. So if you look over here, I was in the Navy for a while. God bless the United States of America. Thank you to all my policemen and teachers. Yeah, I served overseas. I lived outside the country. That was when I was in Afghanistan. Yeah, I got a lot of cool stuff over here. But this is kind of like my little lair. This is my little lair over here, guys, where I do some of my trading and stuff. All that cool stuff. You know what I'm saying? And that's Roast Malone, my chicken. So, there you go. All that good stuff. All good, all good. Cool. Yeah, money can be evil, but I don't think money is inherently evil. I think it's the people. I think it's the moral and ethical compass of the people. You know what I'm saying? Anything can be evil. Anything can be evil or good. Depends on the moral compass of the holder. You know what I'm saying? Now, that being said, oh man, I should have got in. Alright, that's alright. So, I'm doing this challenge where I'm trying to, guys, I do not believe that day trading is the best way to make money, but I am experimenting with day trading to make some quick profits. But any profits I make when I day trade, I put in my long-term account. So long-term investment, that's what Warren Buffett taught us. Long-term investment, that's how you create wealth. But you can make profit short-term. Now you can also lose too, so don't get it twisted. It's not like you're gonna win in every time. But if you do a 4-to-1 risk-reward ratio, Asja Kids, thanks for the advice, homie. Aska, yes sir. As Jada, stay blessed. Stay blessed. Always practice some form of self-discipline. That's where it's at. Yes, yes. Yes, yes. Always practice some form of self-discipline. Some form. Isn't that right, Roast Malone? By the way, Roast Malone was given to me by Natalie, who came from Minnesota, showed up in the middle of Georgia, downtown Macon. We did a TikTok video together and we hung out all day and it was awesome. And she gave me this before she left. So Natalie, if you ever come back into the streams, I kept Post Malone. He is nice and safe, and if you're ever back in Georgia, come visit me. She was a good gal. She was a track star too. I love girls that run track or athletes or gymnasts, because I was an athlete. They always have one of the most beautiful minds, and they're always physically fit, and there's something about people that do cross country or gymnastics, the way their brains are, they always are a good conversation. You know what I'm saying? Your dog just farted. All right, man. Well, Mark, thanks for sharing, man. Thanks for sharing, man. Dogs are amazing companions. All right, so we got to get focused here. We have Apple at 3 million volume. The change is 2%, so we have at least 3 million shares of volume in Apple. It's going up to 377, or AMD. Now, I need to look at the, I need to find my order entry, my Super Dom. Where is it? Oh, there we go. I need to look at my time and sales. There we go. So the time and sales is over here. Interesting. Looks like there's a lot of Interesting. That's an interesting situation. Looks like a lot of people are calling for a giant sell-off. Looks like there's a big sell-off on AMD going on right now. There's definitely a sell-off. Lows are 215. I'm going to play a bounce of the low back to the high. So we're going to go in for 100 shares of AMD. That's about a $20,000 position. And we're going to pop that here. I think we are going to... Yeah, I'm gonna play the pullback up. Oh yeah, so there's the pullback up. So I kind of missed that. Nah, I missed the entry. Here guys, here's the thing. If your setup's not perfect, don't get into it. Especially when you have stocks like AMD and NVIDIA. What do you got? Tom Moon, yeah, I've got some cats. I got 2 cats who are in the land. I love having cats, man. The cats eat all the squirrels, not all the squirrels, but the cats, they, how do you say, they eat the snakes and they keep all the pests away. So I've always had cats. I did have a dog, but dog passed away, so we haven't replaced him yet. Yeah, cats are cool, man. Google cybersecurity. Ghost Samurai, what do you mean? What are you saying? What are you saying? You said something about cybersecurity. Cats are very majestic. I love them. Yeah, cats are cool, man. I'm telling you, cats are awesome. So yeah, we definitely have a lot of room to pull back, pull down, but we are getting away from the VWAP. So I think one of the things that I do, guys, you know, feel free to ask me, but I like to play away from the VWAP. I like to use the VWAP as a median range. And
I want to change the color of my VWAP real quick. I want my VWAP to be a bright orange. I like a bright orange VWAP. Oink. Yeah. So now we're looking at the last 15 minutes charts going through here. So we're bouncing on the, so yesterday's high and low. We're still at 3 million volume on that. Not a bad setup. Anyways, cats are very majestic. Cats are very majestic. Guys, just want to take a moment to thank everybody who's coming into the chat. Feel free to ask me anything. I'm a Navy veteran. I've traded stocks. I do life insurance. I've been in sales. I grew up on a farm. Got a lot of experience. I'm a personal trainer as well. These are things that I do. A lot of people that come into my chats know this, that I do a lot of different stuff, man. And there's kind of tricks to things I've figured out and the reasons I do the things that I do. And if you're curious, feel free to pick up on my brain, pick my brain, and all that good stuff. So, if not, that's fine. But I am here. I'm looking at the chats right here on my bottom screen. You guys are welcome to pretty much ask me anything. Just keep it appropriate. That's all I ask. The only thing I ever ask on the chat is that you're not sexually explicit and you just somewhat respect the viewers. And the reason I say that is because I do sometimes have young kids that come into the chat. And when the kids come in here, I tell the algorithm, like, not for kids, but the kids still come into the chat. So it's kind of one of those things where just have some respect for people, man. You don't have, you can make fun of me, you can say whatever you want. A lot of people think for some reason that I live in a shed, which is always funny to me. But yeah, you can say whatever you want, but just kind of be somewhat respectful to the other viewers. That's all I ask. If you can keep it respectful, we can have a good conversation. I am going to engage with you. I like to talk about a lot of different things. I like to play piano, I like to play music, So feel free to pick my brain. Hope you're all having a great day today. Hope you're all having a good day, man. And I mean that, man. I actually mean that. Believe it or not, I actually hope every one of you have a great day. Alright guys, as far as analytics go, I appreciate all of you. We are at 158,000 views, 317% up. We're close to 780 watch hours, which is absolutely awesome. And as far as the goal to monetization, we are at 2,070. What? Oh crap. The eligibility went up to 4,000? That's some bull crap. Oh, wait a second. That's for something else. Okay, in order for me to get super chats, I need 3,000 to do that, and we're at 2,070. And then in order to get the next web page ads, then we need 4,000. Okay, that's okay. We can get that. I thought they had changed the standard again. I was like, ugh. Hi, it's Danny. Hey, it's Danny. What's up, Danny? Am I trading? Well, Danny, looking for an entry. Looking for a little something, something. What's up with you? Looking for a little something, something. Yeah, I'm looking at AMD right now. You in the markets at all, man? I'm kind of more of a QQQ NASDAQ follower, and then I look at like AMD, Nvidia. I don't really trade anything outside of like 5 picks, and I kind of just watch those. And if you watch one or two companies long enough, you kind of pick up on what goes on. How am I doing? Man, me and Roast Malone just hanging out, man. We're doing pretty good. So AMD is at a high of 218 and a low of 215, and we keep kind of coming up to the VWAP and pulling back. So I'm thinking about taking a short position of 100 shares. I'm going to take a short position, and the order's in. So I'm trying to get a profit target of at least like 100, and then I'm going to risk maybe 30. So I like to do a 4-to-1, 5-to-1 risk reward ratio, and I find that like you don't have to be right all the time. So what I do is, so there's something called an AMD, right? I'm doing great. You like the room? Thanks, man. This is my little man cave. This is where I come in and just kind of do my stuff. I'm not going to change the OBS board. I love the way the OBS board looks. It's absolutely amazing. But AMD is pushing up. So I think we're having a manipulation in the market because we're obviously going through a downtrend overall in AMD. But, you know, the markets tend to accumulate. There's a movement, and there's some accumulation, and then there's a manipulation that gets all the scared money out, and then there's a breakthrough. So I'm using an AMD strategy for AMD, the stock. Accumulation, manipulation, and then direction. And yeah, essentially I'm trying to get a good entry. The time tape is 50 shares here, 100 shares here, 200. I mean, AMD's got close to 4 million volume, and it's pretty obvious that we're going to a downtrend. So I'm just trying to figure out when the best entry is in. If you look at the last candles, it's been high volume sell, 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 lower volume buy, and now we're kind of accumulating. So that being said, remember guys, when you get to the higher highs of a day and the lower lows, that's where liquidity is. So I like to play the bounce off the high of day and low of day. So if we start out breaking up high, right, and we get to like here, and then we pull down and we move, once we get back up to that high of day, that's typically that second, that's kind of where my entry point is. And I don't buy market orders, I set a buy or a sell where other people's stop losses are. So their stop loss becomes my acquisition. It looks sick, don't change it, thanks man. Let's go, and then also I can do a standing desk if I want to. And God said, let there be light, and thus there was light, and I can push this button and I can come up like that. You know, I have a standing desk option too. I don't feel like standing up right now, but I probably should. You know what I mean? Oh, see, I was right on the accumulation side and the manipulation, but my entry was too far above, so I definitely missed that play. But that's okay, because I don't care if I miss a trade. There's always another trade, guys. The key is just like when you get into a trade is to stick with it, and don't get into a lot of bullcrap trades that aren't necessary. So many people lose money in the market because they get into some bad trades, man. Don't put yourself in a bad situation. All right, so now we're getting closer to the low of days. So I'm looking for a big push up. And also, if you guys didn't know this, in case you didn't know, you can open up your phone like this and watch this. Let me teach you a trick. I can go into my phone and I can go to Grok, right? Let me teach you guys something. You guys want to learn something in the chat? I've been trading stocks for a while. No weight vest on this morning. No, I did a good amount of cardio last night. I'm just kind of recovering at this point, and I'll do another training session later. But yeah, I do wear my weighted vest from time to time. Let me teach you something. Let's say I want to look at Grok. Hey Grok, can you analyze the market data for AMD today with its highs and lows and tell me based on your analysis with an AMD trend if you would recommend a long or a short?
Checking AMD stock data now. AMD is trading around $217 right now, down a bit from yesterday's close of 221. Today's open was about 218. High hit 218.3 and low dipped to 215. It jumped big yesterday on that KeyBank upgrade. They see massive server CPU demand, basically sold out for 2026, and expect strong AI growth pushing revenue way up. Analysts are bullish, with new buy ratings and targets up to 290 or even higher. Trend looks solidly upward, with all this hype around AI chips and data center strength. I'd recommend going long here. Momentum's positive, and 2026 could be huge for them. Not financial advice.
So, that's one thing I like to teach you guys. Like, I look at charts, I analyze, but I can take Grok, literally tell Grok to pretend to be a super investor, give me the analysis, and I don't have to do all the research. That saves me so much time. So, yeah. Anyways, there's a good way to use your tools, man. Use your tools. You know what I'm saying? Hello, 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 everyone. Hello. Hit the like. Hit the like. Path to getting super chats. 2/3 of the way there. Morning. Good morning. Good morning. Let's go. Good morning. Hello, honey. Good morning. Hello. Hello, Maggie. Maggie, hello. Hello. Hi, Rainer. R-A-Y. Rainer in the house. Hello. Hi, Allison. Allison. Hello. Rainer. Hello, everybody. Welcome into the chat. Okie dokie. Artichoke. All right. Now we are cooking with Crisco. Cooking with Crisco. Let's just take a moment to admire Post Malone. Let's just take a moment to admire him. Okay, now that that's out of the way. Like, comment, and share. Guys, I do have some guys coming and working on the house later. Let me just make sure they're not here. Ow. Not here yet. Good. That's interesting. Okay. Got some people working on the fireplace in the house today, so there we go. What we got? Mr. Ballin? Huh? I'm just happy, man. I'm very blessed. I'm very blessed. The harder I work, the luckier I get. The harder I work, the luckier I get. Funny how that works, isn't it? I'm just having them basically redo the fireplace and kind of do the stones, edge it out, kind of replace a little bit of the old, whatever that material was. It wasn't real stone. So we're giving it some real texture stone. And then they're going to just do a couple of the things. Look, I mean, I could go around the house and fix all that stuff, but why would I do that when I can do something else? Look, guys, always fix things yourself. Always do everything you can yourself. But when you have a special skill set that allows you to make money, you should spend more time doing that and then find good people like I do, like veterans and police officers and good, people that I respect because I like them and I know their families, then I'm going to pay them because I know when I pay them to do a job, I can trust them, and then I'm investing in them. It's kind of like what you want to do in a community. You know what I'm saying? That's how you, in my business, a lot of my business is networking and talking to people. And by networking, I'll tell you right now, there's lots of stuff I pay for that I could do myself, but I'm not going to do it because I'm doing other stuff. So when you get to that stage of life, it's pretty cool because then you can pick who you trust. And also that makes you, you got to be selective. Don't just pick any bum and give them money to do a job if you don't believe in them. That's why it's good to know when you invest in a family or something, what are they going to do with their money? Are they going to do it and they're going to make the community better around you? And that's kind of just how I think. Yeah, but there's lots of things I don't know. I'm not a great historian. I was in the Navy for 10 years. I was even in a SWCC command with a bunch of operators. I worked with SEALs and SWCS as a logistics specialist. But just because I don't, look, my brain capacity knows a lot of stuff, and my hard drive has dumped a lot of data. So there's a lot of stuff I don't know. The only difference is if I don't know something, then I just say I don't know. Remember what Albert Einstein said, you can't judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree. So yeah, there's lots of stuff I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of stuff I do know, but there's plenty of stuff I don't. You know what I mean? So, and I'm also one of those people where if I see someone's face, I typically remember it better than their names, typically. What I'm more concerned in right now is my stock trade. I'm in the middle of a trade and I'm like trying to make money right here. So that's kind of got my attention. I'm trying to get through this prop challenge. I want to get access to my funds again. So this is going to be kind of fun if I can get through it. And if not, no big deal. I'll go sell some insurance policies. Like whatever. Dashboard here, we have 3,976 subscribers. Cool. 3,975. Someone left. Hey guys, so this is a physique update. Look at the community. Any new comments? Nope, I've responded to every comment. Analytics are showing that we're growing. We're 2/3 of the way. We have continued to publish. We've gotten, my last videos, 31,000 views, 20,000 views, 6,000 views, so we're in the right spot. That's what's up. All right. Refresh this. Oh, I just looked up an image. Oh, that guy, you're talking about John Allen. You're talking about John Allen. Yeah. I've watched some of his content. Not too much because I don't really watch a lot of YouTube. I do more creating, but I've seen that face before. Yeah, he was interviewing, I saw one clip where he was interviewing it's kind of like some super genius IT guy that was teaching him how to tap into computers and how he could take a device. And there was, this guy was a hacker who goes into the dark web and he finds criminals explicitly, he finds criminals that are basically doing really naughty things with children, and he was trying to capture them. I forgot that, but yeah, John Allen. I know him. I know of him. Yeah. Okay. I've seen him before. Alright guys, if you're in the chat, feel free to like, comment, and share, all that good stuff. So we're pushing up, we're coming up to the highs, we're getting some green volume. Still pushing up, man. I think we're going to get closer to the high of days before we get a break on AMD. There is no way I am falling for that false signal. No way. That is a false breakout out the wazoo. Very obvious to me. At least I think it's obvious. So we're going to break up as soon as we get to the high of day today. No, So, not all today. I need to take these. My Yeti cup. I have a Yeti cup of tea. I have 2 cups of tea, a thing of water, and only 1 coffee. So, I drink a lot of tea, and some of these cups have been in here for like 3 days. So, I probably need to clean them. But no, only 1 cup of coffee. But I drink a lot of tea. I drink a lot of tea, and I like my Yeti cups. I really like cups. I like a good cup, and I like a good candle. I'm blessed enough to have like 50 of these Yeti cups. That's funny. That's funny. I like black tea, white tea, gray tea, oolong tea. I'm a big fan of most all teas. Whoa, AMD with the push through up, breaking new highs. Breaking new highs. There we go. There we go. On a 15-minute chart too. Ooh, I'm glad I was looking at the computer. Oh, that was a huge push up. And we're breaking the highs of, we're breaking the highs of today. But I still think that it's a better position to wait. Had a big green push. Woo, we just broke the highs of the day with that. I'm still playing it up to the SMA. I'm still waiting for it to push up. So what I'm doing is I'm putting my order and I'm kind of adjusting it based on what I see in the volume. So we have 3222. So I think we're going to have a big pullback here in a little bit. So the question is, instead of timing the market, I'm looking for a trend. But that's a really big position. That's a really big push on momentum. Tom. Yeah, see, I like a lot of teas because I'm trying to stay lean, and this light doesn't really do me justice in here because of the lights. Even though I have it sort of, I don't have like a good dark concave light. But if you look at some of the pictures when I'm in the gym and I get my pump going on, I'm actually getting pretty lean to be 6'4" at my age at 220, and my abs are coming in, and my shoulders are getting really vascular. So I'm having fun getting the cut because you guys don't know I've lost 100 pounds, and I want to get as lean as possible. But I'm not a bodybuilder. I don't just want to get big and poofy. I care more about staying lean and in shape. That's kind of where it's at for me. Not to say that's for everybody. But if you're wondering, look at some of my pictures and you can see that I made hella progress. And I'm not really lifting heavy weights right now. I've got a couple injuries, so I've been doing mostly calisthenics. Like pretty much most of all I've been doing is pull-ups and body weight and in sprints. But I think once I start introducing more heavy weight, once my injury makes me feel better, I think that my body will start doing a pretty rapid transformation. Hey Ben. Hey Ben. Hello. Good morning. Hello. Big push up. Man, that's a big push up. That is a huge push up. Holy moly, we got to push up even more. Boy, that volume is cranking in like crazy right now for a buy. Man, what a lot of volume. AMD's up to 5 million. It was up at 3 million volume this morning. It's done shot up that much more. And, you know, that's a pretty big push. I'm still looking, let me look at this real quick. I'm still looking at the 4-hour chart. And if I'm looking and seeing this correctly, I'm looking at the last year. the last year shows that's a big push up. And yeah, we hit here and then we pushed up. But boy, it sure does look to me, it looks like AMD. I know they just had the report and all the good stuff and all that bullshit, but I'm still thinking for the daily, man. See, we just broke above the SMA. So breaking above the SMA is huge. We've had this huge, I mean, if you're looking at AMD right now, it's pushing high, high, high. But I'm waiting for that break of candle, and I'm going to short it on the pullback because I think there's a lot of momentum. I think it's going to pull back like a rubber band. Hey guys, I'm looking in the chat. How are you? So, still pushing up. You know, I'm going to take it right here. If we push up, I'm going to get into a position. We just need to kind of break up a little bit higher on the push. Because we're at the high of day. The high of days is at 210 and the low of days at 220 to 215. So there's a difference in $5 there. And that difference of $5 can be a, you know, pretty substantial amount. So now we're in. The stop loss is set. So we've got the stop loss set. And yeah, I'm going to play a pullback off that because we had a big push up, down, push up. There's a lot of momentum, but typically it's been going 3 candles, 2 candles, 3 candles, 2 candles for the volume. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to time this to where, let me pull up my other spot over here. Trade right there. There's my hub. So we are in the position balance right now. So we're in for 100 shares of AMD. 100 shares of AMD. And yeah, let's see what happens. Let's see if I time this correctly or if I'm going to be off. I like to risk 1 unit to win 3. So if I'm wrong, I'm going to lose 1 unit, but if I'm right, I'll get 3. What are your hobbies outside of music and training? Teaching others self-improvement. Teaching others self-improvement. Tom, great question. Tom, great question. So, I like to play music. I like to train physically. I like to work on my body, right? I like to focus on nutrition. I like to educate myself. I like to teach others how to train, work out, stretch, feel better in their body. I'm working on calisthenics, not just training, but I spend a lot of time working on like push-ups and my handstands these days, trying to get to where I can actually do a handstand push-up. I'm really big in moving my body, and if I'm not doing that, then I'm probably usually sleeping or trying to learn. So those are the things that interest me in my life. I don't hunt, I don't fish, I don't play golf, I don't do any of that stuff, I don't watch TV. A lot of that stuff I don't do. Instead, I try to learn. I really like to learn. I like to learn about a lot of different things. The stuff I talk about on chat, I like to learn, and I like to focus self-discipline. And I really like to train people. I spend a lot of time training people at the gym. I like to sell insurance. And yeah, that's a little bit about me, man. Well, AMD has been running. So my first position, I got stopped out looking for a reversal. Got in a little bit early, but I'm still playing the short. I still think this is the right position. But again, guys, if you're gonna trade, you gotta know sometimes your trades are gonna be right. Are you into cars and trucks? Are you into cars and trucks? No. I'm not a big car person. I don't really care. That's just not something that interests me. I get it's cool, it's fun to tinker with and all that, but I think like just working on a vehicle, to me, I'd rather work on my body. Like, put it this way, most men that I know that like to work on cars and do that, I like to take that same type of creativity but study the human body, like nutrition, calisthenics, how to move the body, how to stay in shape. And I do a lot on that side. But yeah, I'm definitely not someone who's going to know about cars or anything like that. I'm a pretty good operator. I can drive almost anything. Like you put me in a Escalator or a bulldozer, or you tell me to ride a four-wheeler or a motorcycle, I'm a pretty good driver. I've always naturally had the aptitude to drive things, but I'm not a very good mechanic, and it's just, you know, it's just not something that interests me. I'd rather learn to play music on the piano than work on a car. If that makes sense. I don't know. I don't know if that makes sense or not, but that's kind of how I am. So, yeah, so I'm going to play this pullback off AMD. I'm really thinking that this pullback off AMD is where the money's going to be at today. So we're hitting new highs, we're hitting new highs. So what I'm doing is, as we hit new highs, AMD is doing this, breaking new highs. I'm putting a trail below it. So once we get ready to have a reversal, as it drops, I'm going to catch that drop. So my first entry above the SMA, and we're above the SMA now. So essentially being above the SMA, it's a bullish trend. But because it's been pushing so high, so fast, I see a very big chance for a pullback. And I'm just waiting for that. I'm waiting for all this volume to cool down. But now AMD's up to 7 million volume. We started the morning at 3 million, then 6 million. It's at 7 million. It's now popping up to 7,100,000, 7,147,000, 7,153,000, 7,160,000, and it's just climbing, climbing, climbing. So it's obviously going to push and bull. But what I am betting is once the bulls get tired and it hits, we're going to have a retracement back to the SMA, and that's where I'm going to capture my profit. Nice. Oh, that's cool. Jose, that's what's up. Tom, how about you? How about you? I'm assuming you're an enthusiast. I'll tell you this, I like the way a car looks when someone shines it up and does all that cool stuff, but that's just not something I'm going to do. I don't know if I have the patience for that. I have a lot of patience for, oh, you guys want to know something else I used to like to do? I like to play poker. There you go, Tom. I didn't tell you. Tom, you want to see something cool? You want to see me on Google? Tom. Let me say hey to Jose. I do like poker. I used to play a lot of poker back in the day. Hey, brother. Believe it or not. And I don't really talk about it on the streams too much, but if you Google, just Google Chris Whitehead poker. So before my divorce and everything, when I lived in California, I almost became a professional poker player. No joke. I used to want to be a professional poker player. If you Google Chris space Whitehead space poker, you'll see me with a green shirt on when I was a little bit thicker and a little bit dunky in the face, but you'll see me on Google Images, and I'm actually a globally, or a nationally ranked tournament poker player. I'm in the top 200,000 players in the States back a few years ago. So I actually really liked poker back in the day. So if you can't tell, I've always liked things that have a little bit of risk reward. Yeah. You can't see a trend. I like stocks. I like poker. I sell insurance, kind of like risk manager, if you will. You know what I mean? I feel like I should have my way to. All right, guys, internet went out there for a second. Don't know why. Anyways. Okie dokie. Sorry about that. You know I'm in the woods out here, so in Georgia, sometimes the internet be acting funny. So we had to reset it. Sorry about that. Alrighty. So there we go. There we go. So I was like thinking, like I'm looking over here, like what is going on over here? All right. Anyways, so we are in the profit right now, and we're back. Sorry about that, guys. Wi-Fi has a lot of devices hooked up. Needed a reset. All right. There we go. Okie dokie, artichoke, okie dokie, the artichoke, okie dokie, artichoke, okie okie dokie, the artichoke, and the volume continues to grow, okie lo dookie doo do do. See, if I just would have stayed long this whole position and went with the momentum, I probably would have had. Do you get into politics? I have opinions on certain things. Race, religion, and politics. Can you say, let's get my channel banned without saying, let's get my channel banned? I'll tell you my opinions on things, but man, I tell you what, with everything going on in the world, I am a veteran, but so much of it's above my head. There's so many moving pieces, man. But I'm willing to have a conversation, to talk something that's interesting to you, perhaps. What you got for me, man? What you got? Oh, it's absolutely important. So, here's the thing, man. There's a lot that moves on into the world. There's a lot that goes on that a lot of people don't see. The world is very hard. The world is very cruel. You have to be a savage. At the end of the day, my travels have shown me that we're kind of all slaves to the country that we live in. We want to love the country that we live in, but politics, man, a lot of people that do politics always have an agenda that they're pushing, no matter what it is. No matter how well they speak, there's always some type of agenda that's being pushed. And you know, it's just, it's kind of sad. Well, I mean, sometimes I think about just taking a cardboard box and like living outside. Give me 1 second. Somebody was calling. I use my iPhone to do these. Is there someone here? Sherry Woods? I don't even know who that is. Let's see here. In my sanctuary? Yeah. Let us just take a moment. Let us just take a moment to appreciate the physique. We're looking good, guys. We're getting there, right? So, for me, I've lost 100 pounds, man. There we go. Not bad, right? Again, I'm not a bodybuilder. I'm not trying to just get big, 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 big. I'm trying to be a lean, mean fighting machine. Yeah, I'm kind of more, I do more. Anyways, that being said, let me throw on my weighted vest. And let me get this thing going. Hi. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello. Hello. Let's get back into the trading station. Anyways, pop that there. Uh-oh. Hey, what's up? You doing good? Here we go. Hi. Get back into the sanctuary. Grown man looking for attention. Hey, Denny, guess what? You're the one in my stream, dude. Jeju. Jeju. Nah, keep him in chat, man. I like the haters because every time that he chats, it helps me get monetized. Thanks, man. Okay, so win, 100%. Yo, Den, you can make fun of me all you want, that's fine. Make fun of me all you want. Just be respectful to my young viewers, please. Yo, win, 100%. So, self-discipline is something I teach. I mentor a lot of young men and a lot of young women. The main thing that you need to understand when it comes to self-discipline is you're going to want to need to have a why. And what do I mean by that? What I mean by that is a lot of times when you wake up in the morning, you need to be able to focus on what's important for you for the day. You need to have certain self-disciplines. There's lots of things that you could do with your time. Remember, there's 168 hours in a week. So if you find yourself depressed or you find yourself doing anything to where you're getting immediate gratification, right? The first thing I recommend is to start making a list of all the stuff that you know you need to work on, and every couple of days try to mark one off your list. By doing so, you're going to become the best version of yourself. What I recommend for my program is for 90 days, no drinking, no alcohol, no cigarettes, no nicotine, no dip, no THC, no weed. Don't look at anything pornographic. Don't chase relationships, and take all that energy, no processed sugar, take all that energy and channel it into something that you want to accomplish. That is going to change your life if you can get through that through 90 days. There we go. When? Does that make sense? When? Does that make sense? Oh, Cinema, yeah, exactly. So working on getting your self-confidence back can be kind of tough. Now, I do have a couple exercises I can share with you if you'd like into the chat. So writing it down, yes, okay. So writing down what you want to do, it's not necessary to write it down, it's not. What's important is that you focus on it. Now, when you write something down, you are focusing on it. You don't have to write things down if you focus on it in your brain and you say it out loud, but writing it down reinforces it. Writing, saying it, all those do reinforce things. So yes, 100% there's power in that. But what's more powerful is when you feel temptation. It could be a drink, it could be trying to go chase the opposite sex, which I'm telling you, do not waste your time trying to chase a guy or a girl, whatever your preference is. When you focus on yourself, they will come to you. Now, that being said, I also think so many people, what they watch on TV, what they look at on their phone, the doom scrolling, a lot of these things are just adding up, and time again, you're programming yourself to have these false ideas of how the world really works, and it's very dangerous. So you kind of have to disconnect yourself from a lot of that, and you have to work on yourself. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So Sentinel, thanks for sharing. Thanks for sharing. What self-confidence issues are you having? Give me an example. Example? We can talk about it. Give me an example and we can talk about it, friend. Jesus is king. That's cool, man. I mean, if that's what you need, I've never really needed religion at all in my life. You know, if you think that Jesus is going to help you, that's fine. Go for it. I personally don't believe Jesus is the answer for everybody. I'm not really into religion. What I find is educating yourself and just understanding and accepting yourself for who you are, whether it's for the good and the bad. Understand we all have flaws, and work towards becoming the best version of yourself. You can pray to Jesus all you want, you can go to church all you want. That's not going to affect your life at all if you don't practice self-discipline. In fact, most people that turn to Jesus and start going to church, they just practice self-discipline. But I think you're going to be stronger if you realize you don't need a religion, you don't need anybody other than yourself. Work on yourself. And by working on yourself, become smarter, become stronger. Focus on what you put in your body. By doing hard, disciplined things, that's where you're going to find yourself. Now, you can choose whatever modality that you want, but, you know, God helps those that help themselves. So action, first off, over everything. Win. For sure. Win. I feel that. So when, that's what's going to happen. What happens is, listen, I'm not going to be so bold as to say only sociopaths use religion, but I can say my experiences with religion, are not very positive, but at the same time, I do know people who turned their lives around and they made a lot better choices by participating in the church. And for those people, do what makes you get there. But yeah, I kind of believe self-discipline in our own actions, that's what changes everything around us. I don't think there's a need for religion for that, but I'm also not you. Maybe you and the camera looking in this stream, maybe, just maybe, that's something that you do need in your life. I am fully aware of my own actions, and what I put my time in will reap dividends. The issue is, most people don't realize is it's hard to get started. But once you start going and you start moving and you build momentum, it is absolutely amazing what you can do once you commit to the self-discipline. Self-discipline could be waking up in the morning 30 minutes and going for a walk outside on an empty stomach. And you just start doing that every morning. It's not too hard, but that little act of forcing yourself to do something, it starts affecting other things in your life and in your day. That's my humble opinion on that. So, Alyssa, hey, thanks for sharing. Thank you for sharing. Self-discipline and action are key for sure. What's that? So when? Okay. What are your goals then? When? Let's talk about your goals. No, I'm not going to say we need to look down on religion because essentially I don't believe we should look down on anyone trying to become better. I think some people probably do need religion in their life just because of the way their brain is wired for whatever reason. But you should not judge other people for trying to get better if they choose to do religion. So I'm not going to be as bold as to say religion should go away. I don't think it should. I think religion can be weaponized and it can be dangerous, but so can a gun. Religion is just like a gun. If you go around trying to kill people for no reason, it's bad. But if you use it to protect yourself, it can be good. So I'm not going to look down on people who do participate in religion. I care more about how they treat people. Now, if someone uses religion to justify bad things, that's terrible, and I'm sure we can agree on that. But just to say, hey, look down on people, that's not what I do, because we don't know why people believe what they do. So you got to kind of have empathy and love, and then understand self-discipline and love. So don't be as bold as to like look down on people. I don't pity them, be better off. Well, maybe, but maybe they wouldn't, man. Hey, Bard, by the way. Well, I mean, yeah, but the thing is, you can't spend your time having pity for people because that's just not a healthy mindset. Sure, I think we can agree we've all met someone who would probably be better if they weren't like being brainwashed and all this stuff. But some people, that's their choice and that makes them become a better person. Again, people have their own personal truths and they should hold on to those. It's not my job to go around and tell people what they should be doing with their life. But what I do like to do is inspire people to think for themselves and take action. And by doing so, it's just a very good medium, because success comes from within. It just comes from within, you know what I'm saying? Absolutely, you can do it when I want to become mentally, physically, and myself and my family and buy a house for them. Okay, so when? So what are you doing to make that a reality? Obviously, doom scrolling on the internet like you're saying is not the path to do that. I think we can agree on that, right? So you probably would agree that doom scrolling isn't the way to do it, right? Right, so if it's your family, if it's your family and it's those things that are important to you, then what I would suggest is when you doom scroll, start thinking, is this getting me closer to my goals for my family or is it getting me further away? And when you focus on doing that, what you're going to realize is keeping that idea fresh in your mind, maybe even write it down. Maybe even write it down on the board. Putting stuff to where you can see it and think about it to keep your mind focused on the goal at hand. By doing that and constantly reminding yourself, you're going to do neuroplasticity, and that's going to allow you to commit to whatever that goal is. And another thing, do not take what other people are saying around you, because when you start making progress, it attracts jealousy. So whenever you start making progress in your own walk of life, if you will, you may find that you lose people that you thought were your friends. Start focusing on yourself. You being the best version of yourself and having self-discipline will make you a magnet, and then things will be attracted to you. When you start participating in things that do not align with your goals, you're the opposite of a magnet. You're pushing things away. So you want to pull things towards you. That's what the law of attraction is. Focus, discipline. You don't need anything but your own goals and your own mind and your ability to kind of like embrace the suck, if you will. You know, and that's what I found has helped me through my transformation that I went through. Absolutely, free speech. I tell people all the time, you know, I'm very big on free speech without a doubt. I did fight for my country, without a doubt I fought for my country. And I love my country. And I'll be the first person to say that fighting for my country changed my life, right? And I respect my country. I love my fellow people in office. I love, like, I'm in the middle of a trade that I'm readjusting, guys, if you see my attention switching. Yes, I fought for the United States. Market is dumping today. Well, not really. AMD has been pretty good. I'm young and I put all my time and effort into a woman, and that turned out to be a huge waste of time. Absolutely, Win, you hit it on the head. So, Win, if you're a young man, the worst thing that you can do is just try to chase women. Trust me on this. Win, I'm almost 40 years old. Okay, I've already gone through one divorce in my life, and I can tell you, all that effort that you put into chasing a woman shows an inability to focus on yourself. You do not need a woman or anything around you to become the best version of yourself. When you are ready and you have disciplined yourself and you have something to provide, women will flock to you like sheep to a shepherd. Now, it's your choice to see if you want what course of life you want to take. But I promise you, do this. Try to do this for 9 months. Try to do it for 90 days. No drinking, no smoking, no pornography. Lock in. Make sure you're doing some form of resistance training, whether it's weights. I recommend calisthenics, a lot of push-ups, a lot of pull-ups, holding positions, things like that. Try to work on something that makes you physically strong. Do cardio, go on runs, move around, don't eat processed sugar, and lock in for 90 days and watch what happens to your life. You just have to do it. Don't do so much all at once. Build that little bitty baby steps on top of each other, and it'll be amazing what you can do. Exactly, so what Marcos is saying, Marcos is in the chat. Let's see, I missed your troll action, free speech. Chris, you be rizzing everyone up. You just have that it factor. Thanks, Marcos. Appreciate you, man. Thank you, friend. Sharing to make everyone believe. All it takes is a spark to start a fire. All you need is a spark. You in this stream are so powerful. If you're watching this, understand this. You have so much energy inside of you that's ready to be unleashed. Hopefully, I can be that little spark. All I want to do in this stream is to say, hey guys, all of you have all this potential. Bam, there's your potential. Bam, bam. I just want to be the spark that lights up your ability to understand how powerful you really are. The stronger you become, the more people are going to hate on you, the more temptation is going to be thrown your way. But ask not for a lighter load, but ask for wider shoulders. The further that you go in your quest to become the best version of yourself, it gets harder each and every day. But you're prepared to face the storm and fire through it. That's what I'm trying to teach you guys. And, you know, I know firsthand that anytime I've ever succeeded in anything in life, it's always been hard in the beginning. People have always made fun of me growing up. I got beat up, shoved in lockers, had a 15-year-old mother. Guys, I've gone through a lot of adversity. I've been homeless. I'm telling you what I did through this process. And then don't forget, we also have Roast Malone. For all my haters who come in, you guys don't know me. And I don't hold that against you. But, you know, as Lao Tzu once said, a wise man appears weak when strong and appears strong when weak. Keep that in mind. All right, guys, if you're in the chat, make sure you give a thumbs up. So we have had, feel free to ask me anything. We've had 17 votes. Okay. Let us go through here. So we're going to put a trailing stop loss. I'm moving to a 2-to-1 risk-reward ratio. 2-to-1 risk-reward with a trailing stop, and I find that that typically seems to work pretty well. I'm in Alabama right now, almost home to Georgia. I could probably do the self-discipline stuff when it comes to like eating and nutrition. I don't understand what you're saying when you said I could probably do the self-control and discipline when it comes to eating and nutrition. Right, it's all the same thing. Self-control and discipline comes in every aspect of life. So when it comes to eating and discipline, it's things like that. You say self-control. Self-control and discipline are concepts, and you apply them to different areas of life. If you don't know how to eat, then you need to study nutrition. If you don't know how to train, you need to learn and read. So it's going to take education, or you could find a coach. And this is where I'll pitch you. If you want to become the best version of yourself and you want to hire me as a life coach to show you the things that I've discovered, then I have Mind Music Muscle on Instagram and Facebook. Message me and say, I want to work with you. Have a budget in mind, and what I will do is I will do weekly meetings with you through Zoom, through Skype, Google Meets, and I will teach you my course. And I will teach you that. If you want to work with a mentor, I will do that. You give me 90 days, I will change your life. Now, you don't have to use me, but I will get you there faster than you would probably get there to yourself. Normally. Because if you knew how to do it, you would have already done it. I've already done it, and I've already made so many mistakes, so I kind of have a key to get you there faster. Now, if you are wanting to work with me, just message me on Instagram or Facebook, Mind Music Muscle. That's it. And say, I want to work with you. We'll have a meeting and we can discuss what's best for you, right? Now, that being said, feel free to put into the chat. I put thousands of videos out of free content, but there are people who choose to work with me one-on-one. Again, just message me, Mind Music Muscle. That's Instagram or Facebook, and say, I want to work with you, Chris. Now, next questions. Of course you can do it. I know you can do it. Anyone can become self-disciplined. Anyone can, man. It just takes time and effort. You gotta want it, man. You gotta want it. If you don't want it, it's not gonna happen. Thanks for coming into the chat, Marcos. Always appreciate your inputs. Marcos, coming back. Marcos, how's the trip been going? How's the trip been going from, I think you were in, you said Alabama now? How's the trip going? Things going good? Yeah, well, you know, you don't just acquire that. You don't just acquire that information overnight. Well, the difference is, you should be taking one step back, 2 steps forwards. Again, find a coach. If you can't do it on your own, seek mentorship. If you can't do it on your own, then seek mentorship. I've paid for mentors in the past. I've spent thousands and thousands of dollars in the past for mentorship and learning. I've been coached and mentored by millionaires. I've worked for Inc. 5000 companies. I've worked for really good business owners, and I was in the United States Navy, so I have gone through the process of developing a system that pretty much transformed my life, and I teach it to other people. But, you know, that system itself, I don't give away for free. So if you want to hire a coach that will get you there, just ask yourself, within the next 3 to 6 months, if you could see yourself being the ultimate version of yourself and stepping towards goals, would you want to do that? And if you say yes, to consider hiring me as a coach. I'm a life coach, man. I know lots of stuff. But you can do anything that you want in life. But having the education and applying it, you know, it's a little bit more difficult than people think, I think. Mentorship is important, guys. You say chicken legs? Schedule is pretty full, but we can do a workout. You think I have chicken legs? Thanks, brother. I appreciate you. Headway. So what you want to do is if you want to be financially stable, you want to do something that doesn't require you to trade time for money. What I mean by that is, you can see right here, one of the things I like is I'm a licensed insurance owner in the state of Georgia. So what I recommend is very simple. Learn to do this. If I sell an insurance policy to someone, I continue to make money, even I get paid right up front, and I continue to get paid off residuals as long as they make their premium. When you make money, you want to put it into the market, so then your cash is working to make money for you. That is how you become successful in life. Simple as that. Don't make it more complicated than that. The most important thing that you're going to do is do something that allows you to make money consistently, and then put your money into the market and invest your money so your money starts to work for you. Right? It's pretty simple. For example, I've owned Apple stock and Tesla stock for a long time. As the years go by, whenever it dips, I buy more. So instead of buying a bunch of stuff I don't need, I take that money and I buy positions in companies, and then it appreciates over time. So, and also when, I'll tell you right now, if you have no idea what you want to do and you want to make a lot of money, I've told this to people: go get a CDL license and go drive a truck for a couple years. Save all your money, all right? Put it in the market, know how to invest, and as you're driving, just listen to the news all day. And as you're driving, have a phone on the dashboard where you can make trades. You can make a lot of money just driving, listening to the news, educating yourself, and then investing in the market. Within 10 years, 5 to 10 years, you would be a millionaire. Maybe even sooner if you did it right. That's one way to do it. Get a life insurance license like I did. Start selling policies where you make residual income. Like, you need a certain skill set, and it's not that hard to do, but that's kind of how you would want to do it, at least in my humble opinion. In my humble opinion, that's what you would want to do. You can learn to trade stocks. You want to learn to trade stocks? Here, use this. There you go. You want to learn to do some of the stock trading? Go try this. Here's an opportunity. Well, bam. I just put a link in the chat. You use that link, try to pass a prop firm challenge. You know, spend a couple $100, right? See if you can pass their challenge. Get access to $25,000 to $40,000, up to $200,000, and then learn to trade. And then you can request payouts. There's another thing. So there's a link right there. That's a skill set. You learn to trade, you'll make really good money if you can learn to trade. Learning to trade's not easy, but I can tell you, anyone can learn to trade if they do it right. It just takes timing and patience. Now, there's also nothing with going and working with your hands. You could go do blue collar work, right? You can go be a carpenter, you can go be a welder. I mean, there's lots of things you can do. But the question is, do you want to make a lot of money over time, or do you want to work with your hands or be a business owner? That's fine through contracting, but I find that insurance is one of the best ways to make money. Everybody needs insurance. And you just relate to people, you don't lie, you show them that you care for them, and then lo and behold, you help them with policies and you help people out. Like, what's better than making money by actually making a difference in people's lives? You know? we go. So now we have a position, AMD. So I'm risking that if I lose 50, but if I win 158. So a trailing stop loss helps for that. You only have to be right like 35% of the time to 35 or 40. And every 10% above that, you kind of are making like $100. So that's cool, right? All right. Somebody said the market was dumping. I don't really care about what the market's doing, really. I don't really pay attention to a lot of the things in the market. I pay attention to volume and price action. And I think if you just pay attention to volume and price action, then that's kind of all you need to do to trade stocks. Like, for example, AMD had some great news recently, and their volume this morning started at 3 million, and now it's up to 14 million. So you can see that they continue to go up and up today, and there's a high push. So this is a great position to be in for a long term. Yeah, you've had some pullbacks, but there's a lot of momentum and some positive news with AMD, and you can see the volume continues to come in better and better and better. And as I say that, I want to actually, right click on the time and cells and go to my settings. And I want to go to my columns and my column rows, general, colors, and I want to take the at bid and I'm going to put it at a dark green, and the one below I'm going to stick it at a light green, and I'm going to apply it. Oh my gosh. Oopsies. Back. Actually, I think I need to reset. Set as default. Okay. Reset to default. Very good. Bam. Right through there. That's a good sign. Right through there. Settings. Coloring, columns, do. Colors. I'm just going to keep that black. Yes, keep that black. And then apply. And now we're going to look at the blue, the uptick, the down. So if we're at the prints table, so if we're selected uptick, downtick, columns, rows, right through there. Oh, so the back. Okay, so the text, if it's at the ask, we're going to make it green, and it says above the ask, we're going to make it a different shade of green. And what that's going to do is apply it. And now what you can see is now I have my time shed, so when all the buys come in, it's green, and right now it's a perfect position. So AMD's been a perfect position trade today. No guts, no glory, fortune favors the bold. Yeah, absolutely, Marcos. Marcos, if you're anything like me, right, and you enjoy, making money and helping people and stuff, I tell you, if you have a good tolerance and you're mathematically sound and you have self-discipline, which do not day trade stocks if you don't have self-discipline. If you're someone who can't go to the gym, you can't control what you eat, you're not going to make it in the market. You need a lot of self-discipline to make it in the market. And trust me, I'm speaking from my own experiences, both from a winning trader and when I was a losing trader. So, and I don't trade all the time, but I am going to trade AMD on this news. Long story short, anything that you do in life that's worth anything is going to be tough. But learn how to trade stocks. Are you trading? No Forex right now. UV. Good question, UV. UV. Let's see here. UV. Hey, welcome in. No. Strictly US equity. QQQ, AMD, etc. Very simple and basic. Effective. Does that make sense? Yeah, UV. So what I do is I do a 3-to-1 to 4-to-1 risk reward. Amazing market dip today after, yeah. Well, the thing is, I follow volume and price action. So even though the market dipped down, look at AMD. AMD started, okay, AMD started with 3 million volume units today, and now it's at 14. So we went from 3 million volume to 14 million, and we had a huge push up. There was some positive news yesterday correlating this movement today. So even though the New York Exchange goes down and all that, I really just pay attention to news for specific companies that I track, and that's my old basic strategy. I only trade 5 tickers: AMD, Tesla, SCMI, NVIDIA, and QQQ. So I just stay in that little wheelhouse. And I find that trading less positions and understanding how those move, because I look at them a lot. When I want to trade, I'm just familiar. It's like if I'm in a pond and I'm looking at fish all day. Let's say I'm in a pond and I'm looking at fish, right? If I pay attention to one fish and I just watch it all day, I'm going to know the patterns of that fish. I'm going to know when it's hungry, when it's going to go here. I think many traders try to get high lists, low lists, gainers, loses, this and that. And it's like there's so much going on. I'd rather have 3 companies that I can trade every day that have enough liquidity and volume that always have movements. And I just hit base hits, 50 bucks here, 50 bucks here. And I put a trailing stop loss, and if I have one that runs, I take my profit target and I just get rid of it. And then I keep my trail to follow it. So let your runners run, and then cut your losses to a 3-to-1 risk reward, maybe 4-to-1 risk reward ratio. And I find that's the best strategy for me, as I'm in an AMD trade right now. So I'm automatically, if we pull back, yeah, QQQ, Asmongold. Everybody's funny in the chat. Asmongold, are you talking about the YouTube streamer? See, right now, I'm in a spot right now with AMD where no matter what, we're hitting highs of highs. So this is a chance for my runner to run. We're pushing. I'm altering my stop loss as we speak. My take profit. My take profit is going to go up. My stop loss is already set. So with my take profit, this has the momentum to break out and push. So I'm already going to net at least 150 bucks in this trade. So now it's pushing. So what I'm doing is, as it goes up, instead of having multiple positions, I'm waiting for a runner. So I've hit base hits, 50, 50, 20, 30. Now this has potential to continue to push to the higher highs of 223.91. Because of the good news and the volume, we're at 15 million volume. We have 4 consistent green candles. The opening day pushed up high. All of this is set up for a very juicy profit. So my stop loss is going to continue to trail, but one of the things is when you're in a good trade that can really push, you need to make sure that you allow it to push. Like, you need to make sure that you let those runners run. The volume is coming up. We're now at 15 million volume. Holy buckets, that's a lot of volume. So we're already 5x times the volume. You're looking at the timeshares, 100 sales bought, 500 shares bought, 500 times 10. We're already $168 in this profit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my trail, put it right below. If we dip down, cool. I make 150 bucks. Cool. No, I don't full-time trade, dude. I sell insurance. I'm an insurance agent. I'm trying to get, there we go. And then there's another good balance. Filled order. Very good. No, I day trade just because it's kind of fun in the morning. It's kind of like a video game to me. So I would say, it's just kind of fun. But I sell insurance. I'm also a personal trainer. I guess I'm what you would call an entrepreneur. I do a bunch of little things, and I'm trying to get monetized on YouTube. I'm up to about 2,022 watch hours of the 3,000 I need for super chats. So my goal is, while I do this, I'm just putting up a stream because, like, I just think it's a good idea if I want to get monetized. What's a better idea to get monetized than to, just stream what I'm already doing? Does that make sense? Oh, Fanta, just so you know, I'm going to show this. Thank you. You said you're a moron is what you are. Thank you, Fanta. Fanta, thank you so much. And keep in mind that it's Y-O-U-R-E. You are. If you're going to insult someone, at least have some spelling. Thank you for the chat. Yeah, that's fine. So, thank you, Fanta Cruz. I appreciate you. A lot of people have called me names over the years. I've never met a hater doing better in life than I am. And it's Y-O-U-R-E, it's you-are. So if you're going to insult me, at least insult me with the right words. So, but thank you for the chat. Every time that you put a chat in here, it's a step closer to me getting monetized. And so I appreciate you very much. Well, I know. I'm just letting you know that if you're going to insult someone and you don't want to appear to be like, how do I say, I don't want to say dumb, but if you can't spell, if you can't spell and you're telling someone that they're an idiot, it just kind of makes you look silly, man. Just for what it's worth. I'm trying to give you some life advice, but whatever. No, guys, I appreciate the haters. All I ask is that you don't do anything sexually explicit, because I have young viewers that come in the chat. Just keep it kind of, if you can, just keep it somewhat appropriate for my younger viewers. And if you do any sexually explicit content, I'm not going to ban you. I'm going to report you under sexually explicit and pornography. It's going to trace your IP address, and if you make multiple accounts, Google will ban you. So there's your warning. You're welcome to make fun of me. You can make fun of anything you want about me. Just be respectful for my viewers and don't do any sexual explicit content, please. That's all I ask. You get a job? All right. All right, man. I will do my best to go get a job today. It's always funny. I'm always curious why haters think that when I'm doing what I do, that I don't work. Because I work probably, 80 to 100 hours a week. But what typically happens is people are typically so upset with their life, they are so miserable that they've done nothing, they've accomplished nothing in their life, and it really kind of makes me sad because you're not going to get anything in life, you're not going to get where you want to go if you don't change your attitude. But, you can do what you want, man. It is what it is, but I appreciate that. Do those birds know what you think? Do the birds know what you think? They will say hi to Jesus. I don't know. Do birds know what we think? I don't know. I know birds are a lot more intelligent than people think. Did you know when birds chirp in the middle of, at the beginning of the morning, the chirping and the frequency that the bird chirps, that has an effect on the insects and the microbials underground, and that kind of starts the day. So when you have birds around, you're going to notice that your grass is greener. It's an entire ecosystem. It's actually beautifully designed. I think when Einstein talked about the God of Spinoza, that's what he was referring to. Okie dokie. Let's go here. You know what? I'm gonna pull that trade off, and I know this is crazy, but so we pushed up, we're at 16 million volume, up. I'm sure there's probably a pullback, but boy, there is a big potential to get through this high. The question is, let's look at the last 3 months right here. And also, for those who are curious, sometimes in the chat, people ask me, he said the smell of OSB is good. Well, dude, I like the way it looks, man. Hey, if you like OSB, he said the smell of OSB is good. That's funny, man. Thanks for that. Well, if you look over here, so I have the OSB up board because I just like the way it looks. 1776. This is kind of my little area over here. I was in the Navy for a while, so I tell people a lot of times when I do my streams, I'll be right here. So you'll see me over here when I do a lot of chats. So I do have this area over here, but for the time being, I'm just going to be over here. By the way, do you know who the only billionaire in my age group that made billions of dollars without inheriting his money? Does anybody know who that is? It's Mr. Beast. It's Jimmy. He is the only person. Man, I tried last year turning full-time into trading. Yeah, UV, I wouldn't do trading full-time. Trading is a way to make or lose money fast, but you can make money trading, but I don't think you're going to create wealth because they're kind of streaky. What I do is when I make money on trades, I put it into my long-term investments. So I try to make money. Once I have profit, I take that profit and I put it into my long-term holdings like SPY, Index, NVIDIA, TSM. I'm big into technology, into QQQs and the NASDAQ. So that's where I would recommend putting your money for long-term wealth. I really don't think that it's a very good idea to try to rely on trading to make a lot of money. I don't. You can make fast money, 100% you can. You can make good money in trading, without a doubt. No one's gonna say you can't. But you're not gonna create a lot of wealth. I don't believe so. I believe you'll create more wealth by doing long-term investing. However, use the trading as a tool. I'm excited to be home, Chris. Briefing you is one of the best things. Befriending you is one of the best things I've done this past year. So glad to have you in my life, Chris. You are awesome sauce. Oh, well, thank you, Marcos. I give you a heart for that. Thanks, man. Yeah, man, look, you want to come do a workout with me in Georgia? Look, once you get back home, get settled in, and we'll go up to Elite Fitness, and it's about 30 minutes from Macon. I'll meet you up there, and we'll go do some pull-ups or something. You can come do a training session with me, right? I always tell you guys, if you want to come do a workout with me or just come talk, maybe I'll do an interview to where I'll invite you to come over and you can do a little live stream with me and I can kind of pick your brain a little bit. I'm not against that, man. I actually think it would be kind of cool. Wouldn't it be kind of cool for me just to have streamers and YouTubers just randomly show up and stuff? Now, I'll warn you this. If anyone is going to come and try to be rude or do anything and come meet me in public, I just want to let you know I am armed and I am loaded. I have lots of guns at the house, and I did serve in the military. So just keep in mind that I mentor people, and don't mistake my kindness for weakness. That's all I'll say. I'm here to grow a following and to show you guys some cool stuff. But the moment anyone is disrespectful in person, yeah. Well, you'll understand. So just be respectful. I'm a very respectful man. Respect goes a long way. But just a life lesson, do not mistake a man's kindness for weakness. Because typically it's the most kind people who are soft-spoken and know what they're capable of that choose to stay in peace. You never want to disrupt a man's peace. That being said, you're obviously welcome to come to a training session with me. 100% without a doubt. Yeah, Marcos. Just pay for a day pass, and then we can train at the gym. All you gotta do is pay for a day pass for that day, and you can come train at the gym, and that's all. All you gotta do is pay for a day pass. Pretty simple. Yeah, it's like 10 or 12 bucks or something. Pretty affordable. And then, yeah, we can come to a full body session. I'll put you through a training regimen with me, and you can see if you like it. A lot of people like to train with me. You know, it's silly, or I say silly, you know what's cool is some people even pay me to train them. All right, let me check my phone real quick. Supposedly there was supposed to be somebody here today. All right. What's next? Sounds good. Linda, you said what type of side eye was that? I was reading a text message. I was reading a text message that came in because I'm using my phone to stream. That's funny. Linda. Funny. I had a text message. See you next time, Linda. Oh, my box over here? Yeah. I guess. What's funny is I've never met a hater doing better than I am. People are so funny to me. Funny, funny, funny. It always makes me laugh. It's always funny that people think I live in here. It's always funny. I always wonder why people think like this is where I live. It always blows my mind. Like, I mean, technically I could live in here. I lived in a tent in Afghanistan for a while, but you have a beautiful home and land and all sorts of stuff. But whatever. What we got? Alright, what we got in chat? If your bare knuckle hut, wait, they realize you have a better house and plot of land than most of them haters does. Oh, I already know this, Marcos. I already know that. I already know that. But it is what it is, man. I think most people come in and they're just looking to get a rave out of me or something. And, sometimes it works. Sometimes people say stuff, I'm like, what? That's what you think? But, what I like is a good hater and a good troll. I like a good hater and a good troll who is creative. If you want to be a good hater and a good troll, be creative, man. Do some stuff that actually is funny. If all you're doing is being disgusting and, saying all these sexually explicit things, guys, you're never going to do anything in life. You're just not. But that's cool, man. You do you. You do what makes you happy. You know what I'm saying? There's my bagel. I say my bagel, my sourdough bagel. Big fan of sourdough, guys. Big old fan of sourdough. Subscribe! Maybe we'll play some piano. Anybody want to hear some piano? Linda, I went for it. No, I never said that, Linda. I never said I only love trolls. I said I love the trolls. Because at least the trolls put some comments in. Anyways. Why the vest? So, I wear a weighted vest when I want to cut body weight and stay lean. It weighs about 30 pounds. So just by wearing a vest and moving around, you kind of burn calories like 20% more efficiently. So I've been trying to train to look like a fitness model. I'm almost 40, so I'm getting leaner, and I'm just looking for ways to increase my work capacity without exhausting myself. So wearing a 30-pound weighted vest and just walking around is a great way to burn calories, hold on to muscle, and get lean. That's why I wear the weighted vest. Okay, I good. Why the vest? Wait, you only love trolls. Okay, I good. Okay, I good creative troll. Okay? I just want to be your future XGF. Haha, Linda, thank you for the compliment. Yeah, so I'm not in the market to date anyone, just so you guys know. Yeah, my thing is kind of like, yeah, I'm not really in the market to date anyone. I appreciate I so appreciate the compliment though. It's very nice, but yeah, I took an oath of celibacy for at least another year. So I don't plan on engaging in any sexual activity, no self-pleasure, no alcohol, no smoking, none of that for at least another year, and I'll probably never drink or smoke ever again. Now, I'm not even sure if I'll ever have sex again. Now, that may be weird to some of you guys in the chat, but I have one of those brains that is constantly active, doing a lot of different things, and I found that preserving my energy allows me to get better in other areas of my life. So, that's kind of where I'm at. Any other questions? Top 20 favorite candy bars. I don't eat candy. Don't know. I don't eat candy. Boinkity boink. Ha ha ha. Well, that's funny. Let me check on one thing real quick in this trade. There we go. What do we got in the chat? The vest was a protective thing. Weighted makes more sense. Do you work alone? Any plans on teaming up? Now, I typically do my own thing when it comes to business. It's hard to find good help. I did think about starting an insurance team. So, you guys in the chat, if y'all wanted to make residual income and I started an insurance team, would any of you guys be interested in joining that? Because I'm really considering on building a new insurance business out here on the East Coast. I got out of the insurance business, but I'm considering getting back in because, boy, the vest was a protective thing. Weight makes more sense. Yeah, man. So the weighted vest is typically just moving. I have a standing desk and I've been moving around for like 4 hours with an extra 30 pounds. And I'm telling you, those little steps add up. Well, Marcos, man, I'm telling you, you come to Georgia, and if you have a little bit of money to invest, such as like getting your license, because it does take some money to get your license going, but if you want to plug into a system and learn how to do that, I'm not saying I'm going to create an insurance team, but I'm considering rebuilding one. Well, no, I don't need an assistant. What I need is someone that I can mentor, and then what I'm going to do is every time you make a sale, I get a portion of the profit. So essentially, in the insurance business, when you build teams, you teach people how to sell the product. But I do have a desk behind me that if I found the right person, they could come in here and work out of this desk, because I have another standing desk like this one right over here. And I also had a friend named Carter who was on a video, and he, interestingly enough, he just ghosted me for some reason. I don't know. Sometimes people do that. I don't really care. I hated it because he was a software developer, but the thing is, man, when it comes to business and taking charge, you just got to do it yourself. It's really hard to find good help. That's kind of been my experience. Sometimes me relying on other people has never worked really good. So I kind of built this office over here. practice some form of self-discipline in your life, guys, sometime. Now we're back in the chat. Okie dokie. I'm not a guy. Oh, Linda, I could be a good personal assistant. Never lose. Welcome back, Never. Never loser. Welcome back. I'm trying to start my self-discipline right now. No, you're not trying to start. You have started your journey of self-discipline, and you are working towards becoming better every day. Remember, so it's not I'm trying to, it's that I am doing it. So one thing is, you have to program how you say things. In my thing. The song you're playing, oh yeah, it's like the old salon thing. Yeah, that's kind of that little piece. Yeah, it's an old little blues thing. Alright, so. Some form of self-discipline you got to practice. Damn, I lost another trade. That's what I get for playing piano. What's up, Chris? What's up? That's Marcos today's lizard. He said, that's, you see, that is a funny comment. Where ICE agents go, they get off work. What does it say? Oh, where the ICE agents go when they get off work. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, that's great. So, Kristen, yeah, I'm thoroughly convinced. Me personally, I'm not really big on religion, but I think most people that take religion and become successful with it, I just think they practice a form of self-discipline. Now, I'm personally not a follower of any religion, but one thing I do agree on with the teachings of Jesus, because you'd have to be an idiot not to study Jesus. Because Jesus was a pretty cool guy. I have my opinions on him. If you want to believe he was the Son of God, that's fine. Cool. I think we're all sons of God, women's of God, whatever. I think we're all, there's a giant source of energy, and then there's people. People are trying to get back to the source of energy. Everything in between is just religion and streams leading to the same ocean, in my humble opinion. But you'd have to be silly not to study a wise teacher of any area and not learn from them. So that being said, I think that Jesus would agree that self-discipline is necessary. I never needed a church to tell me that. I just figured it out on my own that if I didn't drink, I didn't smoke, I didn't chase women, I didn't look at porn, right? All that stuff rots your brain. You're kind of affected by the environment you grow in. If you practice those things, you're going to be a better person. So. All right. I think that I have decided that that is some doo-doo. All right, that's enough trading for the day. Hit 3 trades good, lost 2 trades, broke even. All right. Anyways, back to the YouTube. Let's pop this on pause. Dashboard. We have now 3,974. 3,974, 51 thumbs ups, community chats, anybody in the new chats in here, no new comments. And now we're here. Now, I don't know how to play that, Marcos. Typically what I do when I play my piano, I don't really play a lot of other songs. I could learn songs and stuff if I really wanted to, but I'm more interested in creating original music. I agree with you, Ario. Let's see. Boom, boom, boom. What is this? Okay, now I can see the chats right here. I just want to make sure I can see the chats when they come in. There we go. Here we go. Out of curiosity, respect. Yeah, you can ask me anything you want. What does the vest do to you when it comes to self-discipline? Well, just because I talk about self-discipline doesn't mean that the vest has anything to do with self-discipline for me. But the reason that I wear the vest is because I have a standing desk, right? And I've lost about 100 pounds and I am working on getting leaner. So you may not be able to see it with this lighting because I'm 6'4", 220 pounds, and I have abs. What I am doing is I'm trying to get leaner. So, when it comes to getting leaner, I have found wearing a weighted vest really does help just moving around the day, because what it does is it has you burn more calories. And I'm a big believer that burning more calories creates a more aesthetic physique. You want to eat proteins, you want to not eat junk food, but wearing a vest is one of the best ways to do that. So that is why I'm wearing the vest. I do a lot of different things. So just so you guys know, we'll pop this up. I do a lot of different types of training, but getting lean has kind of been on the radar this year. I want to get extremely vascular and extremely lean, and we are doing our best to practice that and get there. And if you see some of the pictures of me in the gym, you'll see I'm not a bodybuilder. I'm someone who more likes to sculpt. So, let's go into the house now. I'm gonna go into the house real quick. I'll be right back. Well, I'm just me, man. You wanna... Well, confidence is something I teach in people. Look, don't let some idiot who's never done anything in their life convince you to stop doing what's effective. The biggest thing that I try to teach people is like, believing in yourself. You gotta believe in yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, you're not gonna go anywhere in life with their Wi-Fi on. So, for example, for me, just so you guys can see, you see how I have like some muscle on my frame? You see how you can kind of see a little bit of striations there? You see how my lats kind of pop out like this? You see how I look like an upside down triangle? Right? You see the vascularity? Right? I'm not saying I'm huge, because I'm not. I'm only 6'4", 220. But you can see how the veins and stuff are coming. What I'm doing is the vest and how I eat. You see how, like, again, I'm not trying to show off or anything, but I'm showing you my vascularity after losing 100 pounds. I'm starting to look a lot leaner and vascular. So how I'm eating, cutting processed sugar, like when I was 300 pounds, I never had that vascularity, right? I'm training to get lean. Like, I don't want to be huge. I want to be lean. You see how my muscle kind of pops there, right? I'm training to have abs. You see how I have like these lines that come down? So a lot of that is all part of my training. So I do a lot of different things, like just being able to do that and pop my muscle like that. I never thought I would have something like that, because it took me a long time to get that. So again, I'm not huge, but I'm trying to look more like a fitness model. I have a 32-inch waist and 50-inch shoulders. So I'm 50 inches wide with a 30-inch waist. And you see how my lats hang out? A lot of my muscle is in my back and my legs. I have a pretty substantial shoulder injury, so I can't really press heavy anymore. And I have 3 herniated discs. So anyways, thank you for explaining that. You're very welcome. Again, you guys, lighting does a lot of justice for the physique. No pump, hardly any carbs. I ate a little bit this morning. But we're gonna go to the gym and we're gonna continue to grow and stay lean. I don't like big traps and all that. Yeah, well, thank you. Well, I go to the gym and I'm a personal trainer, and I wear a shirt and everybody thinks I'm so skinny for some reason. I guess because I'm lean at 6'4", I'm not really huge. But as soon as I take off my shirt, or I take off and wear a tank top and start training, people come up to me and they're like, holy shit. They're like, whoa. And I'm like, yeah, cool. I've been working on this for a while. So, it's not easy. A lot of it's diet. I don't train really heavy. A lot of it's lifestyle and just trying to get lean. Getting lean and getting a detailed physique is just as hard as bulking and getting big and strong. I think getting big and strong and eating whatever you want to get big and strong is pretty easy. Like I could be up to 250 pounds in 3 months, just eating pasta and bread, and I would get big and strong, but I would look like shit. So I train more to like look aesthetic. You know, I want to have like a good lean physique, and I'm almost 40, guys, and my abs are coming in. So I'm doing all this. You see how that line comes down? I have veins in my abs, dude. So, and I'm not trying to like be conceited or arrogant, but I feel like I'm looking pretty damn good for someone who pretty much just does push-ups and pull-ups and sprints. That's pretty much all I've been doing. And I'm enjoying it. You know what I mean? Like just even that little bit of vascularity right there, I was never really vascular, so I feel like the diet's really helping. You said you're scared? Why are you scared of me, man? I'm Coach Chris. But you see how like I have the lats and they're popping out? Like I'm trying to have those Bruce Lee lats. I'm kind of built more like a swimmer more than anything. And my waist is really tight. So I like the taper. I think the best physiques have a good taper. I don't like really big traps. I don't like overdeveloped. I have decent calves. I have good calves, decent forearms, but I like to be wide. I train to get wide and symmetrical. Oh, I appreciate that. Well, you know, for people that don't come in very much, I'm just trying to show them like, you know, wearing a tactical vest, this is not a bulletproof vest. It's designed to be like one, but wearing a vest that weighs like 30 pounds and just doing this throughout the day. I read an article in Christine Ronaldo. One of the best physiques I've ever seen is Ronaldo's. Ronaldo has an incredible physique. He's lean, he's athletic, and he's powerful. I like lean, powerful bodies. I don't want a huge neck. I don't want huge traps. I think that spoils the physique. I like looking like an average dude that just looks in shape, and then I take my shirt off and I go outside and people are like, holy shit, I didn't expect that. I kind of like having that effect on people. It's pretty cool. So, that being said, now it is time to make a pre-workout smoothie. So, if you guys want, you can ask me questions. I am a certified trainer, and I do have a couple of ideas about training to get lean that seems to help people. If you're curious about what I'm going to do, this is what I'm going to eat and drink before I go to the gym. This is when I load up on sugars. So before I train, I like to make sure I have sugar. I don't need a lot of sugar. I tell you guys to eliminate processed sugar. But I will take sugar and honey. And what I like to do is I like to take some beetroot powder. Beetroot powder is one of the best vasodilators. Right through here. Put some of that in there. And I'll be at the gym within the next half an hour, probably. So I'll put that in there. I've already eaten enough carbohydrates and proteins and all that stuff. And yeah, so I'm gonna do that. And then I'll probably do what I normally do, put some creatine in here. I am a big believer in creatine. If you take a lot of creatine, what you'll realize is you don't need as much protein. You need phosphate and glycolysis in the system. And this is like a scoop of all these broken down, freeze-dried vegetables. But this is basically just a super drink right through here with sugar, honey, salt, everything that you need to get a pump in the gym. Then I'll take a wee bit of ice. A wee bit of ice. Pop that bad boy in there. So this has got sodium, potassium, electrolytes, sugar, honey, vasodilation, all the good stuff, and it's all from real food, right? Then I'll pop that bad boy on there. Got the honey and everything in there. Just like that. We are getting more vascular, slowly but surely, slowly but surely. And then that's kind of like my little pre-workout drink there. Yeah, so here's the thing. I'm not a big fan of oats. Can you just admire that vein right there? That's a new vein. I'm not a big fan of oats for vascularity. Here's the thing, man. If you do oats, it's a great food to get bigger, but I find a lot of starch to make me hold water. So I think a lot of starches make you hold water. So, you know, if you eat oats and you think it works, by all means, you know, but I'll eat some sourdough bread. I will eat oats every now and then, but I think for vascularity and staying lean, I try to do more fruits for my carbs and dried fruit versus starch. I would say this, dried fruit with a little bit of processed sugar will help you get leaner than bread and rice. I have found that eliminating the starches, I don't even have a pump right now. When I start getting a pump and I start going, my body gets pretty vascular. So in order to increase vascularity, I don't really like a lot of starches for my carbs. Now, that doesn't mean you can't eat the starches, and in time you can, but I'm telling you, man, the body just, I don't know, man, the body tends to hold on to water more when you have starch, whether it's potato, bread, and when you eat more fruits, it just seems like your body gets more vascular. That's been my experience. Again, I'm not against oats. Oats are great. But for vascularity wise, I feel like it takes away from my vascularity. And I'm not super vascular now, but I've made huge improvements. And I find that, you know, if you're doing a lot of cardio, like sprints and athletic cardio, you can probably get away with more of the starch. But, you know, if you just take like dried raisins or dates or apricots before and after you train, or bananas, you'll look more vascular. Typically, the people I train, I have them do that, and within a few days, they're like, whoa, I feel like I'm dropping water weight. Now, if you're bulking and you don't care, by all means, but I'm not trying to get super huge. I'm just trying to be diced and sliced and look like a fitness model. I'm 6'4", 220 with abs, right? So, you know, even I'll get down to 200 pounds if I want to. I'm not trying to just to get massive. I want in shape and detail. That's kind of my ideal physique. I don't like huge traps. I like wide shoulders, wide back, good calves. You know, not too thick in the chest. Big, thick, wide back, and decent chest development is what I'm going for. Does that make sense? Yeah, now look, I would say that. If you enjoy oats and you can get them in bulk, go for it. I bet you though, if you take the yogurt, the fruit, and you stick with that, yogurts, eggs, and fruits, you won't probably be as big. But here's the thing, do people really want to just get bigger? They really don't. How many guys do you see in the gym, big and strong, and they're like this? I can bench press 600 pounds. To me, I don't want any part of that. I want to be able to do, like I do a lot of pull-ups. I do pull-ups every day. Like typically I do 10 pull-ups in between my sets. I'm really at training more like work capacity and athleticism and training more like a gymnast. And I'll tell you, dried fruit like figs are one of your best friends. If you are watching this and you do not take in figs or raisins, do something. Next time you go to the gym, drink water, salt, and take a handful of dates or figs and eat that before you train. You'll probably get a better pump than a pre-workout. Because when you take in a lot of caffeine before you train, sometimes that ruins your vascularity. Now, if you're trying to get big and powerful and you're trying to do powerlifting, look, I'm a strength and conditioning coach. I get it. If that's your goal, excuse me, just go eat a bunch of pancakes. Eat a bunch of starch and you'll get big and strong and you'll hold water and you'll be big and fluffy. But you're not going to look good if you do that. I mean, I train to look good naked. And I do a lot of push-ups, a lot of pull-ups, a lot of sprints. I do a lot of movement. If you're not moving your body, you're not looking your best, right? So that's what I believe. I think if you can't do 10 or 20, if you can't do 20 pull-ups in one, I'm 6'4" and I'm 220 pounds and I can do pull-ups with like 90 to 100 pounds strapped to my waist. The more pull-ups that I can do with weight strapped to my waist, the better my physique starts to look. Now, I'm not against weightlifting, but so many times people are weightlifting and they're not controlling on the muscle. When you do full body movements in calisthenics, you have to keep your whole body tight. The ability to brace your body and stay tight, that is one of the ways to get more aesthetic. Look at sprinters, look at track athletes, look at soccer players, basketball players. They're always lean. And even though they're not as big, they look a lot bigger than they are when they take their shirt off because they have more definition and quality. Something to be learned from that. And if you're gonna lift, squat, bench, deadlift, and stuff like that, just know that getting stronger is amazing, but just because you can lift more weight doesn't necessarily mean you're getting stronger. A lot of times people lift heavier weight because they're using leverage. Like, for example, if someone's arching their back and lifting all this weight in a bench press, I would say if they changed their position, took half the weight off and went down for 2 seconds and controlled the weight, aesthetically, they're gonna look better than just pushing heavy weight. You know, you don't have to lift heavy. I don't ever lift heavy. As a matter of fact, I train with females who lift heavier than I do. Not to say I can't lift more, because I definitely can. I can lift some heavy ass weight. And I do heavy singles here and there. But I'm telling you, man, to build my physique, I use time under tension. Time under tension has been a game changer for me. And I think time under tension and knowing how to do it, it's not just going slow. It's not just going fast. It's learning how to really connect with the muscle and really getting it to fire. You know, most people can't even fire their muscles. Like, can you pop your chest? Can you pop your calf? Can you hit your gelt? You know, and once you master time under tension, it's amazing. Have a wonderful day. Cool. Awesome. I understand that. Oh, some person put a message in there under review. I don't know. I don't think I'm going to read that. If you want me to read your message, just put a message in the chat that's a little bit more appropriate, I guess you'd say. What you guys got? Okie dokie artichoke. Next question. Yeah. I train to look good naked, man. I don't really care about just being big and poofy. So many guys I train with at the gym, I mean, they're training and they're like, "Come lift heavy with us, Chris." I'm just like, why, man? Like, I get more out of lighter weight than you can with heavy weight. And it's like, I've lost 100 pounds. I'm a professional trainer. I'm ISSA certified. I'm not trying to like be arrogant and conceited, but I do feel like after losing 100 pounds, and I went from 160 in high school to 300 pounds powerlifting, got big and strong, ended up hurting myself, but I was fluffy. And even though I was really strong, I never really looked good. It wasn't until I started focusing in on my diet and my nutrition and my aerobic capacity and doing time under tension, that's what led my physique to Oh, for sure. Christine, I talked to you. I work 3 jobs every day. Cool. Remember, there's 168 hours in a week. So 168 hours in a week. If you're not going to invest in your own health, then, just kind of, me personally, I think health is an investment. And getting leaner is not easy. It's not necessarily what everybody needs to do. But if you get leaner, you'll have more energy and you'll feel better. And if you learn to do that, you might be amazed at what you're capable of. Just keep that in mind. You can do it. It's not easy. Not everybody has the ability to do it because of self-discipline, but there is a way to do it. I mean, if you just go outside and start doing push-ups and pull-ups, you'll be amazed at what the body can do. Push-ups, pull-ups, and sprints will get a really good physique. You may not be as big as a lot of people, but most people haven't even mastered the push-up in their bench pressing. Like, you got to master the push-up and master the pull-up before you start lifting weights, in my opinion. And if not, then, go do your thing, man. You ain't got to listen to me. But, training to look aesthetically and look lean is a lot different than just trying to get big. I know trainers in the gym who have they look like they're big and thick, but they always got these big ass guts. And they're always talking about how much weight they can lift. They always have these big ass guts. And then I know people in the gym that train their clients and they don't even pay attention to their diet. And it's just God, how do people pay you money for this? It blows my mind. But anyways, guys, that's the stream. You guys stay good. We'll see you next time.